Hello friends, in last video you studied Introduction to Deadlock. Now we are going to study deadlock characterization. A deadlock situation can occur if the following four conditions occur simultaneously in a system. When the deadlock occurs, okay, so these are the following four conditions. When these four conditions occur, then deadlocks occur. First one, mutual exclusion. Second, hold and wait. Third, no preemption. Fourth one is circular wait. First one, mutual exclusion. Only one process is holding the resource at a time. If any other process requests for the resource, the requesting process must wait until the resource has been released. See, for example, here process P1 holds resource printer. So at the same time, P2 also requests. Okay, so P2, when P2 receive this resource, okay, when P1 releases this resource, then only P2 get. Okay, so P2 have to wait till the process P1 releases the resource. Next, hold and wait. A process is holding at least one resource and waiting to acquire additional resource that are currently being held by the other process. See, for example, here P2 holds CD drive, resource CD drive. At the same time, P2 want another resource. Okay, that is held by P1. Okay, that is hold and wait. Next, third one, no preemption. Resources cannot be preempted. That is, only the process holding the resources must release it after the process has completed its task. See, example, P1 holds resource R1, that is printer. After taking printout, process P1 must release this resource. Okay. After completion of process, after completion of printer, okay, after taking printout, P1 must release the resource so that P2 can take this resource. Next, circular wait. A set P0 P1 dot dot Pn of waiting process must exist such that P0 is waiting for a resource held by P1. P1 is waiting for resource held by P2. Okay, like this, it's become a circular cycle. So in this example here, P1 holds R1, okay, and P2 requests R1. Then P2 holds R2, okay. Then P1 requests R2. So it becomes a cycle here. This becomes a circular. Clear, no? So all the four conditions must hold for deadlock to occur. All these four conditions, okay, must hold for deadlock to occur. Next, resource allocation graph. Deadlocks are described by using a directed graph called system resource allocation graph. Deadlocks are described by using a directed graph. Directed means there is a direction. Okay, there is a direction here. It's called system resource allocation graph. The graph consists of set of vertices V and set of edges E. Okay, so these all are what? Vertices. P1, P2, P3, all are what? Vertices. So P is equal to P1, P2, P3, Pn, that is set up consisting of all active processes represented by circle. So here processes are represented by a circle. P1, P2, P3 are the resources processes represented by circle. R is equal to R1, R2, these are the resources set up consisting of all resource type in this system, represented by rectangle. Resources represented by rectangle with dot representing instance of that resource. Okay, so here dot represents instance of the resource. Okay, so here three dots are there. Okay, here only one dot, here two dots, here only one dot. Okay, all are what? Instances of resources. There are two types of edges. Okay, so here these all are vertices. Okay, R1 is a vertex, P1 is a vertex, R2 is a vertex, P2 is a vertex, P3 is R3 is a vertex, P3 is a vertex, R4 is a vertex. Okay, these all are what? Vertices. Okay. Then next, there are two types of edges. Okay, here there are two types of edges are there. A directed edge from process Pi to resource Rj, from process to resource. That is, this is one edge. Okay, that edge is called request edge. This P1 to R1. Okay, so that is request edge. A directed edge Rj to Pj signifies that resource Rj is held by process Pi. Okay, Ri held by Pi. So this is called assignment edge. Okay, so this is called assignment edge. Clear, no? What is the request edge? Pi to Ri is a request edge. What is assignment edge? Ri to P2 is a assignment edge. Clear, no? So process request resource, that is a request edge. Okay, then resource hold by P2, that is the assignment edge or allocation edge. Clear, no? The sets P, R and E. Okay, P means process, R means all the resources, E means edges. Edges may be request edge or assignment edge. Next, resource instances. Okay, so how many instances are there? So here R1, only one instance. So one instance of resource type R1. So here two instances. Okay, resource type R2. Okay, and here only one instance. Here three instances are there. Okay, so if it is two instances, so P1 holds one resource, P2 also holds one more resource. Okay, like this. If it is only one instance, only one process can hold one resource. If it is three instances, three processes can hold three resources. Clear, no? Next, if the graph contains no cycle, then no process in the system is deadlocked. If there is no cycle, no deadlock. If the graph contains a cycle, then deadlock may exist. If there is a cycle, then deadlock exists. So here it is a cycle. So deadlocks occurs like this. If each resource type has exactly one instance, then a cycle implies that a deadlock has occurred. If there is only one instance, then there is a chances of deadlock occur. If each resource has several instances, then a cycle do not necessarily imply that a deadlock has occurred. If there are more instances, then there is a less chances of deadlock occur. Note that request edge can be converted into assignment edge by reversing the direction of the arc when the request is granted. You can convert request edge, okay, this is request edge, can convert assignment edge. Okay, if you change the direction, it becomes a assignment edge. Next, methods of handling deadlock. Deadlock problem can be solved in one of three ways. Use a protocol to prevent or avoid deadlocks, ensuring that system will never enter a deadlock. Okay, how the deadlock problem can be solved? First method is, one way is use a protocol. Okay, use a protocol. Okay, protocol is a set of rules. Use that protocol to prevent or avoid deadlocks, ensuring that the system will never enter a deadlock state. Second, allow a system to enter deadlock state, detect it and recover it. Okay, suppose the system enter into deadlock state, just detect system is get deadlock, just you recover it. Next, third, ignore the problem altogether and pretend that deadlock never occur in the system. Okay, so you just ignore the problem, okay, and pretend that deadlock never occur in the system. Clear, no? Okay, next video will study deadlock prevention. Okay, thank you.